As a childless woman myself, I'd say I don't like that he said that. Plain and simple.
Is it a vote loser?
But
Is it a vote loser, Amanda?
um, there are going to be some people who would say, I don't like that he said that. That bothers me. But then again, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have made it infinitely more difficult for me to be able to put food on the table, a roof over my head. Rent's gone up. I can't afford to buy a house because interest rates are so high. So I think that James Carville said it best, 1992, Bill Clinton's chief strategist. It's about the economy, stupid.
Mm.
So you can make stupid comments. I certainly don't appreciate that comment.
Amanda Makki, who's a former advisor in the Bush administration, a former Republican strategist. Hello to you, Amanda.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program. Can I just ask you first for your thoughts on this opinion poll there in America where you are, which has got a lot of attention here. It's by Ipsos, the pollster, and it shows that Kamala Harris is, at least on this one national poll, 2 points ahead of Donald Trump. Now, look, that's within the margin of error. It is just one opinion poll. We know that in the end, it really comes down to what's happening in swing states. But on what you've seen so far, including that poll, Amanda, do you accept then that you've got more of a fight on your hands now that Biden has stood aside?
Well, that's one poll, and every other poll that you'll see shows Trump actually beating Kamala Harris within the margin of error, but still beating her. As the pollster for President Trump came out and said yesterday, she's going to experience a bump. There is going to be a rise in enthusiasm in her base because there hasn't been any at all. It's been flat because it's been Joe Biden, gaffe after gaffe, mistake after mistake, falling down, things that obviously anyone would say, is this guy really up for the job? And so they are excited to have someone, of course, much younger, and someone that is going to bring that enthusiasm. But I will tell you, CNN, certainly not conservative, this morning has a poll out showing that among 18 to 24-year-olds, typically a very liberal group, in 2020, 56% identified as Democrat, now 49% in 2024. Compare that to Republicans. In 2020, 39% of that 18 to 24 age range, 18 to 34 age range, 39% identified as Republican, now 49%. Yeah. So a 10-point swing up for Republicans. Again, a CNN poll, certainly not a conservative organization.
Sure.
So I think that there's going to be a gap, but right now she's feeling a bump because of the enthusiasm that the Democrats didn't have that now they do.
Right. I mean, there's a certain element of pick a poll, isn't there, at this stage of the game? I'm looking at another poll, a CBS poll, CBS poll. I'm sure you know about this one. It says that among young voters, as 18s to 29s, you got Harris on 62% and Donald Trump on 37%, which is quite a big margin. I was asking, though, do you accept that the fight looks tougher now after the switchover on the Democratic side?
No, and I'll tell you why. It's because we don't know who her vice presidential candidate is going to be. We also don't know that she is not going to have a fight on her hands in the convention. This is still an open convention. I mean, she is acting as the heir apparent, and they're certainly portraying her as the heir apparent. However, you still have to go to the convention, and the convention is still open. And the big donors, the kind of mega donors, as we call them in the United States, they will have a say. And you're bringing up polling. That's a good thing because these polls are going to matter. And where these polls are 2 weeks from now, 26 days from now, when their convention is, the Democrats' convention is, these polls are going to show, can she beat Donald Trump and JD Vance? And if she can't, there will be a fight on their hands in the convention.
Oh, yeah. If the polls are looking grim at the time of that convention, the story is going to be transformed yet again. I just wonder what we got in prospect here. Have a listen to this. I'm sure you've heard this and seen this maybe more than once. But this is Kamala Harris at her rally in Milwaukee last night.
As a prosecutor, I specialized in cases involving sexual abuse. Well, Trump was found liable for committing sexual abuse. As Attorney General of California, I took on the big Wall Street banks and held them accountable for fraud. Donald Trump was just found guilty of fraud on 34 counts.
Now, maybe, Amanda, you've had to sort of grit your teeth through that clip more than once before talking to me. But you see the campaign theme there for people listening who aren't that familiar. It's going to be about the prosecutor, Kamala Harris, taking on the convicted felon. And look, maybe you feel the courts in America are part of a conspiracy against Donald Trump. But what I'm putting to you now is that if this election's about Donald Trump's character and not about Joe Biden's fitness for office, that's going to be tougher for your side.
So two things. One, she's also sided with child abusers, sexual predators. And so her record will certainly be exposed by the Republicans. So she can talk about those high notes that she wants to portray against Donald Trump. I would tell her tread lightly going against Trump. There's a reason why Trump is the nominee amongst a pool of very, very highly decorated candidates like Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, Nikki Haley, former UN ambassador. So he won in large part those primaries handedly, easily, because he was in front of a courthouse almost every day, dragged into courthouses across America, throughout America, because of district attorneys, Democrats who had an agenda. And look where he is now. Almost all those court cases have been thrown out. Yes, he was found convicted in one, but all of those cases have largely been thrown out. And there's a reason why he's as popular as he is right now. It's because of what they believe. If the government can do it to Donald Trump, they can do it to you and me. And that's scary for Americans. So I would say be careful about that.
Right. Okay. We're getting a good sense of how you're approaching these challenges. And some of those cases are still in the air, very much in the air. But I want to just put one last question to you while we have the time. Donald Trump's new running mate, JD Vance, your vice presidential pick, he made this comment. I'm sure you've seen this before, but he made this comment on 2021 on Fox News.
We're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too. And it's just a basic fact. You look at Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, AOC, the entire future of the Democrats is controlled by people without children. And how does it make any sense that we've turned our country over to people who don't really have a direct stake in it?
Amanda, what do you think? I mean, I know this is back in 2021 and water's gone under the bridge since then, but childless cat ladies, that's not going to please too many American women voters.
As a childless woman myself, I'd say I don't like that he said that. Plain and simple.
Is it a vote loser? Is it a vote loser, Amanda?
There are going to be some people who would say, I don't like that he said that. That bothers me. But then again, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have made it infinitely more difficult for me to be able to put food on the table, a roof over my head. Rent's gone up. I can't afford to buy a house because interest rates are so high. So I think that James Carville said it best, 1992, Bill Clinton's chief strategist. It's about the economy, stupid. So you can make stupid comments. I certainly don't appreciate that comment. However, if it comes down to me being able to put food on the table and a roof over my head and gas in my car, that's what I'm concerned about as an American.
All right. Good to talk to you, Amanda. I wonder if JD Vance was listening to that. Amanda Makki there, former Republican strategist.